Hi, today in this video I'm going to talk about the 10 to 11 books which I am going to read in this year of 2024. So let's get started. The first one is The Three Body Problem by Shixin Liu, and it focuses on, or it is basically it is a dystopian sci-fi thriller, and it has got a lot of science stuff, basically physics stuff, or the writer is keenly interested in explaining or putting forth his theories into a story which he has mixed it so well, and the amalgamation is so continuous and smooth that the story and the physics and everything else comes together to form an excellent plot, which is I think going to be made into a movie or series on Netflix. And this is a series, and this is the first part of the three books. The second part is The Dark Forest, which I am currently reading. But this, I have finished the book, and I can tell you this much, that the end is so unexpected that you will get the shock of your life. So that's the only thing which I can tell you about this book. Next one is Bear Town by Frederick Bachman. So it's Frederick Bachman, right? And I cannot survive a year without a Bachman book. So this time I have made a choice to read this in the first month of the year, and I am into not halfway, but I have completed chapter 12, and I can say that by reading this much I have understood that this is a story about a town called Bear Town and its obsession with the sports of ice hockey, and the people living in town, how they form the crux of this game, how all of them are related in some way or the other with the sports, and the entire town, their story and the hockey is so interrelated that it's their life basically. Some are playing it, some are watching it, some are controlling it with their politics and whatnot. But what Bachman has mainly focused, in my opinion, in this book is on the dramatics and the characters so keenly that the humor side is there, but it's not so strong as compared to his other writings. This is the new side of Bachman which I'm discovering, and I'm loving it, because the characters that he has written, they are going so well, like from their plot development and their storyline, and he goes back and forth between the character's story, and that's what's making this book so interesting for me to read till now. The next one is a Marathi book, Joseph Mazzini, written by Savarkar, and it was published by his brother Bharao Savarkar. In the introductory part, Savarkar describes to the reader why there was a need for him to write the book about Mazzini. So Mazzini was an Italian revolutionary who inspired many Indian revolutionaries during the late 1800s and early 1900s, because that's when Italy was fighting its independence. I don't know the exact year, but his writings were so influential, Mazzini's writings, that they were banned in Europe, some parts of Asia. And when Savarkar read his full biography, the 6-volume biography which was translated into English when he was staying in India House, he felt the need that this story should reach the Indians during that time, and they should get inspired by Mazzini and his idea of a revolution and how he himself implemented it via armed means, armed forces. So that's what I think this book will be focused on. The next one is One Piece by Oda, Ichiro Oda. Up till what I have read, I am head over heels for Luffy, because the type of young man he is, the ambitions he has got, and the honesty and the funniness which comes out of him is so natural and honest that you can't you will like him. It will not be like you won't like him, because he's that kind of a character. And mainly this plot is focusing on Luffy at present. Let's see what it has got in this adventurous book. The next one is No Rules Rules. This is written by Reed Hastings, who is the CEO and co-founder of Netflix. Now, this book was recommended by Palki Sharma Upadhyay on her read list last year, and I was intrigued to know more about Netflix's work culture, because they are famous for giving their employees as many days of vacationing as they want until you meet your deadline. And by implementing this technique, they are still among the top companies. Instead of going the other way, they are succeeding using this technique. So I want to know more through the CEO himself, what are they doing in their company which is working for everyone. The next one is Menstruation Across Cultures by Nitin Sridhar. Now, from past 2 years, I have been wondering about the menstruation cultures all across the states in India. I have been reading some things, some other things based on it, but I wanted a full book dedicated to this particular topic. And when I researched it on the internet, I found this particular book, which had good ratings by known and famous authors. Actually, I was searching for an Indian perspective and the history of menstruation culture, but this book is an add-on, because it describes the culture of menstruation throughout the world or throughout the globe. It covers Judaism, like the Abrahamic cultures, mainly the cultures of India, which are Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, and ancient civilizations also, including Rome, Greece, and Egypt. So what I was expecting, this book is offering more than that. The next book which I am going to read is The Tragic Illusion of an Islamic State by Tariq Fateh. Now, Tariq Fateh was a man who criticized Islam like no other, and he was brutally honest and constantly illuminated their dark side to the world. And for his honesty, I kind of wanted to know more about this man, and so I chose this book, wherein I know that he will give an unfiltered take about his opinions on the Islamic State. The next book which I'm going to read is the 10 Principal Upanishads. It is translated by Sri Purohit Swami and W.B. Yeats. Now, my eyes fell upon this book first when Prime Minister Modi gifted this book to an American politician or a minister. W.B. Yeats has written its introduction, and in that he says he has tried to keep the original Sanskrit text as unhampered or untouched as possible when he was translating it into English, without changing the meaning or context of the actual script. So, keeping in mind about what he has said in introduction, this might be the translation, word to word translation from Sanskrit to English, and I'm hoping to read it very soon. The next one is again a recommendation by Palki Sharma Upadhyay, and that is Nehru, Tibet and China, which is written by A.S. Bhasin. Now, during Nehru rule, he had initially friendly relations with China, by what I have read about it, but the Indo-China war started and things turned bitter with the inclusion of Tibet and its collapse, and the Dalai Lama residing or taking shelter in India, and so I wanted to know the exact scene or the exact things that happened during this time, the politics, the picture of army. Next one is a superstar of on my list at least, and it is India, that is Bharat by J. Deepak. So I have opened this book, but I could not gather enough time to dedicate to this book, because this book needs your unfiltered, undivided attention. And each, according to me, because it is written by the J. Deepak, you will have to read it by giving your 100%. Otherwise, there is no use in reading this book. So I'll read this book with utmost dedication so that I get 100% out of it, and it will be a superstar or a hit because the J. Deepak has written it. The other two books which I don't have a hard copy just yet, one is The Acts of God by Kanan Gill, which will be arriving arriving by post to me next week, I hope. And it is his second published book. It's his first published book, but he has written another book which was kept unpublished, and I know that it will be a hit because I kind of like his humor. So the other book and the last one, which I'm totally 100% excited about, is the book by Vikram Sampath, which is based on Kashi Vishwanath and its origins, the destruction of the temple by the Mughals, and as the story will end as till the recent events are surrounding the temple and the place. This is the list of what I am going to read this year. List down in the comments what you are going to read and what you are excited about the latest releases this year, and let me know. Till then, bye bye.